大家好啊，又嚟到越洋買定離手嘅時間啦。嗱，一連5日啊，星期二至到星期六就係今年嘅皇家亞士谷賽期，即刻同大家入正題啦。Hello everyone, I'm Shireen. After the Derby preview show earlier in this month, I received quite a number of positive comments, so I invited Chris and Steve again for the Royal Ascot preview. This time we also have Jamie from Tote. Hi Jamie, this is your first time to have you in our show. How are you, and can you briefly introduce yourself to Hong Kong punters?
Yes, sure. It's great to be here. I'm Jamie Hart. I'm the racing director of the UK Tote Group. So I'll be trying to give you some kind of insight into how the betting goes over here on this side of the planet.
Thank you for your time. And Chris, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Looking forward to Royal Ascot over the next 5 days. We've got the football on as well here in Europe. Obviously, England got the good win yesterday, and it's great. 5 good days of racing, and hopefully England can beat Scotland later on in the week. So yeah, looking forward to the next few days.
Yes, it will be a busy week coming, and that's great. Steve, how are you? How is it going?
Well, I'm fine, thank you. Until Chris mentioned the football, being up here in sunny Edinburgh, just been reminded there painfully of a 2-0 defeat to the Czech Republic. Hopefully we can get back on the winning track on Friday. But yes, very much looking forward to Ascot. The weather looks set fair, but possibility of some heavy, threatening-looking thunderstorms on Thursday and Friday. So something to bear in mind later in the week as well.
That's good to hear. So, and on the Royal Ascot Day 1, there will be 3 Group 1 races. We are going to talk about them one by one, and then after that, I would also like to discuss the Ascot Stakes as well. On Tuesday at 2:30 UK time, and it is 9:30 Hong Kong time, Royal Ascot kicks off with the Group 1 Queen Anne Stakes over a mile on the straight course. Jamie, which one in this race is your favorite?
I think everybody's favorite in this race is going to be Palace Pier. It's going to be very short. It's already kind of about the $1.40 mark for this race. He's won every race except for one that he's running. He's got John Gosden as a trainer that everybody respects. It's got Frankie Dettori on board. It will be very short. If you're looking around for other things to throw in with your Quinella places, I do like Lope Fernandez. I think on the quick ground, that horse needs fast ground. You can draw a line through whenever he runs on soft. And I think it might be the one to bolster up your return if you're looking for something to put with the favourite.
Yes, and Chris, will you be keen on Palace Pier as well, and any dark horse you like?
Yeah, well, obviously the one on paper they've all got to beat comes in here off the back of a lock-inch win when he did it very impressively, and I think on the quicker ground that would suit him. His only blip came when he finished 3rd on Champions Day, where it was very deep ground that day, and he also fought as well, if I remember correctly, lost a shoe or had some kind of issue there. But yeah, he's going to be hard to beat on paper. But I do think there are 1 or 2 interesting contenders in here. I've actually gone with a massive flyer in one. I thought Prince E.G. for Andrea Azzani and Roger Varian is a really interesting horse, and I'm interested why they're continuing to persevere with him. He's got a good record at the track. He won here on debut. He was quite an expensive purchase. He's had his problems along the way, and I've always expected that they think he's a Group 1 horse, but he just hasn't quite delivered yet. But it's interesting that, like I said, connections have kept him in training. He finished 2nd behind Oh This Is Us when he was chins on the line in the trial for this race back in April. He was meant to run at Epsom last weekend, but he was withdrawn on the ground because we had that rain on the Friday. And I think this quick ground will suit him. He finished 4th in the Wolverton last year, which is also being run on the card tomorrow. So it's interesting that they haven't gone back there and they've decided to have a crack at this Group 1. They obviously think they might be able to nick a place, I think. I think the race will suit him as well. There's not much pace in here, and I think he'll be handy. And I think you don't want to get too far back. It could be messy for those coming in behind. It could be a sprint in the closing stages. He's got a good draw as well to work from stall 10. I think he could definitely surprise a few people, and he would need a career best to make the frame, but I think we haven't seen his best yet. And Prince AG, for me, he's 50-1 in some places here on the sportsbook with various firms in the UK. I think he could spring a surprise and maybe fill the first 3 places.
Okay, how about you, Steve? Which horse do you like here?
Yes, it's very hard to go beyond Palace Pier, isn't it? You always like to look at an angle and try and see something else, but Palace Pier looks so strong. Gosden and Dettori, and looked imperious in the lock-ins, didn't it? I thought Lope Fernandez probably the horse to take out of that race because it was never really placed a challenge, denied a clear run. But it's complicated now that Ryan Moore's on Order of Australia, and of course Jamie Heffernan on Lope Fernandez. There wasn't a great deal between them in the Breeders' Cup Mile at Keeneland, of course, last year. So it's tricky. I mean, I suppose Palace Pier is the obvious one, and Top Rank's an honest sort. You can imagine him possibly finishing a little closer this time round. Good to Firm's not a problem for him. So yes, for me, maybe the first 3, Palace Pier, Top Rank in there, and probably a toss-up between Order of Australia and Lope Fernandez. Probably prefer Lope Fernandez.
And currently the market is dominated by Palace Pier. I'm quite looking forward to him in the opening race of Warrior Escorts this year. And then the second Group 1 on Tuesday will be 3:40 UK time and 10:40 Hong Kong time. Race 3 King's Stand Stakes over 5 furlong, and there will be a field of 16, a bit larger than previous years. Jamie, which one are you keen on?
Well, this is another one which on paper has a very strong favourite. Batash is a very popular horse here, won the King's Stand last year. He's always historically been given question marks over his temperament, particularly around a big crowd. And so, you know, lockdown, well, we've all been frustrated by it. I think Batash was quite happy with it last year, running up his 3 wins. They clearly had some kind of small setback with him leading into this. And I think he's got to be absolutely on his A game here. There will only be 12,000 people there tomorrow, so I don't think it shouldn't be an excuse that he loses on temperament. But anything with a long, any short price favourite that's had an interruption to their preparation, I'm wary of. So I'm looking around the others. One I do like is the Queen's horse, King's Lynn. Yeah, I think the Boarding Yard love him. He definitely goes on quick ground. I know he hasn't had it recently, but he's got form on it in the past and as a 2-year-old. I just think he could be running on at the end off a fast pace when some of these have given up. He's kind of dropping back from 6, and he had a good kind of run previously. So I think King's Lynn could be the springer in the swingers in the Quinella places.
Chris, how about you?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Are you with Batash or are you against him? He's around about 2-1 at the moment, which is actually quite a big price for Batash. He normally goes off odds on, so you are getting potentially a little bit of value there, but it's what that setback has had for him. Has it pushed him back a little bit, and is he going to need the run? Would he have needed a prep run? He did win this race fresh last year, but I think there wasn't too much depth in the race last year when he won. He deserved to win the race because he's finished second behind Blue Point in the past. So he's always maybe been a little bit vulnerable at Ascot, and he maybe just got away with it last year. I think this is quite a deep race, actually. I think there's quite a few worthy challenges. We've got Brendan Walsh coming over, Frankie Dettori, he's an interesting one. Winter Power as well. A lot of people thought she won well the last day at York, but I'm not so keen on her. I think she might not take to the crowds. The one I really liked, and has actually drifted in the market, so maybe they're not going to run, but I thought Liberty Beach was the rock solid one for the place at least. It's run really well here in the past. Finished third in this race last year when she was only a 3-year-old, so it was only one of her first couple of starts where she was taking on the older horses, and she maintained her form really well last year, I thought, in some of the big sprints. She finished 4th here in the Queen Mary as well, so she's done well at the Royal Meeting before. She gets the fillies allowance. I think she'll come on for that run at Haydock as well, which was on heavy ground, which she can handle, but she's equally effective on a quicker surface. You know, she's going to be up there and handy, and I think there's some firms in the UK going 4 places, but I think she's nailed on to go very close. And at a double figure price, I think she could maybe be the one to put it up to Batash. I really do. So yeah, for me, Liberty Beach, I think she's a rock solid one and would be my play in the race.
And then Steve, how about you? What do you think?
Yes, Liberty Beach for me as well. I really like this horse. It was a good third in the Abbey at the end of last season at Longchamp, and a very nice reappearance as well. I think he's just really becoming a better all-round horse now, and he's still fairly lightly raced. I think there's a lot more to come, and he could be top draw this time next year. I think the likes of Winter Power is interesting. He beat Attilas Bay last time, who went on to win the Scurry at Sandown at the weekend. But I think these horses, the King's Lynn was also entered in the Woking, of course, as well. So, but I think the King's Lynn, the Winter Power, I think you get there in stages as sprinters. I think you sort of incrementally improve in time, and I don't think they're there yet for a Group 1. I think Liberty Beach signposted how good he is last year with a good third in this race, and a little bit, if Batash isn't on his A game, then there's not a lot to find there. So at double figure odds, it's 11 to 1 now. So Liberty Beach is very attractive at double figures.